So there are all of these different forms of male supremacism and violence as a culture, you know, as a culture of toxic masculinity, and male supremacism is an intrinsic part of male dominance. It's an intrinsic part of police violence. It's an intrinsic part of militia violence, that these are interrelated kinds of issues. And so to, you know, return back to the beginning of the question, to sum up with Governor Gretchen Whitmer, it's not surprising that the state in which the armed storming of the Capitol has occurred, in which this kidnapping plot occurred, in which the aggressive, violent masculinity, male dominance is, you know, at its symbolic height, was a place where not only is the governor a woman, but she also, you know, she gave a response to Trump's State of the Union. She is a symbol of feminism for them, and a symbolic target. And so these, you know, militia, anti-state, anti-leftist movements also intertwined with male supremacism, and the people who were involved in the kidnapping plot, at least 2 of them have been documented as amongst the armed white men who stormed the state capitol earlier this year, who were just kind of allowed to storm the state capitol with guns. And it was like, well, they're white men, and so we allow them to get away with the kind of violence that if this was, you know, a community of color participating, that we would not. And then it turns out that they are involved in this more, you know, accelerated form of, you know, plotted violent overthrow of their state government, kidnapping of female political leader, the chants of lock her up, which of course were also chants that Trump popularized around his Democratic opponent, Hillary Rodham Clinton, were used against Gretchen Whitmer. And so they've got this strain of misogyny coming through. They're obviously referencing back to things that Trump has said. And, you know, we are seeing these constant threats and warning signs that are not taken and approached seriously enough until, you know, until something happens, and often until multiple violent something happens before there's really sufficient attention to the threats that are going on.